The invisible son, who built a $100 million empire without anyone knowing. My name is Marcus, and for most of my life, I was the ghost at the dinner table. My older brother Derek was everything in our family. Star quarterback, full ride to Notre Dame, the kind of guy who walked into a room and every single head turned. My parents practically glowed when they talked about him. Christmas cards, Facebook posts, dinner conversations, Derek, Derek, Derek. Me? I was just there. I remember one Easter. I was maybe 16. I'd just won a regional coding competition, first place out of 200 kids. I tried to mention it, and my mom literally talked over me to ask Derek if he wanted more ham. Not even malicious, just automatic, like I was background noise. So I stopped talking about what I was doing. I went to a state school on a partial scholarship, while Derek got a brand new truck for graduation. I worked nights at a call center, mornings in class, and every spare minute I had, I was building. See, I'd noticed something nobody else was paying attention to. Small restaurants, local diners, mom and pop shops. They were getting destroyed by food delivery apps taking 30% off the top. 30%. These people were working 16-hour days and barely breaking even. So I built my own platform. Smaller fees, local focus, simple enough for a 60-year-old diner owner to figure out in 10 minutes. I called it Home Table. The first year, I made about $12,000. I ate a lot of peanut butter sandwiches. I told nobody. Second year, $48,000. Third year, a small regional chain wanted to license the software. I almost called my dad that night. Almost. But then I remembered Easter. I remembered the ham. So I stayed quiet, and I kept building. By the time I was 29, Home Table was operating in 31 cities. I had a team of 42 people. I had quietly, carefully, methodically built something worth just over $90 million. And still, nobody in my family knew a thing. Then came Thanksgiving. We're all at my parents' house in Ohio. Derek's there with his wife, talking about his sales job, how he's this close to a promotion. My mom's doting on his kids. My dad's nodding along like Derek is reciting scripture. And I'm sitting there, cutting my turkey, invisible as ever. Then my aunt, sweet woman, she looks at me and goes, "Marcus, honey, what are you up to these days? Still doing computer stuff?" And something in me just shifted. I put down my fork, real calm. I said, "Yeah, Aunt Carol, computer stuff." I pulled out my phone, opened an article from the Wall Street Journal that had run 2 weeks earlier, slid it across the table. The headline read, "Home Table acquired by DoorDash for $112 million. The table went quiet. Derek picked up the phone first. I watched his face go through about 6 emotions in 4 seconds. My mom made a sound I can only describe as a confused gasp. My dad just stared at me, like he was seeing me for the first time. And maybe he was. Derek goes, "Bro, you did this?" And I said, real easy, "Started it in my apartment, the one you guys never visited." Nobody said anything for a long moment. Then my dad clears his throat and goes, "Marcus, son, we had no idea." I stopped him right there, gently. No anger, no drama. I said, "I know, Dad. I know." Because here's the thing nobody tells you about that kind of moment. It doesn't feel like winning. Not exactly. It's not the explosion of satisfaction you think it'll be. It's quieter than that. It felt like exhaling. After holding your breath for 15 years. I don't need them to rewrite history. I don't need an apology tour or a big emotional breakdown over the mashed potatoes. What I needed, I already gave to myself. Every late night, every skipped holiday party to hit a deadline, every time I didn't complain, didn't explain, didn't ask anyone to believe in me. I believed in me. And somewhere between that Easter dinner and that Thanksgiving table, that turned out to be more than enough.